the time and has taken the Chicago Police Department just over a year to begin rounding up the suspected killers. During this period, one name that has been constantly linked to the double homicide is rapper Q50, who is a close friend of rapper Lil Jeff, the man believed to be the mastermind behind the fatal shooting. In the aftermath of the shooting, Q50, as well as Lil Jeff, stormed their way to the top of the suspects list when they began claiming the hit on Lil Rob and Monti in their lyrics and on various Instagram posts. However, as the investigation into both murders intensified in recent months, Q50 has performed an unexpected U-turn on his initial stance. According to sources close to the Chicago Police Department, Q50 was invited for questioning in relation to the double homicide, and he completely denied any involvement in the planning or actual shooting. The rapper not only pleaded his innocence, but the sources claim he may have been instrumental in helping the police to catch the actual killers through his confessions. So while many people may have been surprised by the series of arrests that have been made this year in connection with the double homicide, sources close to the Chicago PD already saw it coming. On January 29, 2025, just about a year after investigation was opened into the fatal shooting, police authorities arrested the first suspect, who goes by the name Tommy Coleman, aka T Slick. He was arrested in the 5700 block of North Mason Avenue. He was subsequently charged with 2 felony counts of first-degree murder, aggravated discharge of a firearm from an occupied vehicle, and possession of a weapon by a felon. T Slick made his first appearance in court earlier this month, and there the prosecutors made a lot of startling revelations that shed new light into the case. One of those revelations was that there were 3 suspects involved in the shooting of Lil Rob and Monti. Lil Jeff was revealed as the mastermind behind the plot, but he was killed in June 2024 and so wouldn't be able to answer for his crimes. The third suspect, 20-year-old James Allison aka Jay, was arrested by the Chicago Police Department and U.S. Marshals Great Lakes Regional Task Force on February 3, 2025 in the 2200 block of North Main Street in Crown Point, Indiana. JMO was hit with the same charges as T Slick and is scheduled to make his first appearance in court later this month. According to sources, JMO was Lil Rob and Monti's classmate at Innovations High School. These claims were further emphasized by the prosecutors at T Slick's first court appearance, who revealed that JMO was instrumental in providing information the shooters used in planning the attack. While T Slick's arrest caused some stir among Reddit users, the news of Jay's arrest particularly caught the attention of fans for 2 reasons: because he was in the same school with the victims, and the fact that he was 20 years old and still in high school. Some users argued that he was too old to remain in high school, while some others pointed out that he would have been around 18 or 19 when the shooting occurred, and so there was really nothing off about that. In the end, fans of Q50 were delighted that his name hasn't been mentioned yet, which they felt buttressed his claims that he had nothing to do with the fatal shooting. More importantly, the prosecutors from T Slick's trial claimed that there were only 3 suspects involved in the shooting. According to prosecutors, shortly after the shooting, detectives received an anonymous tip which named Lil Jeff as one of the shooters, and they also pointed detectives to an Instagram page with the video of the 3 gunmen inside the getaway car. The video was shared on Lil Jeff's Instagram stories just 20 minutes after the shooting and captures the 3 gunmen wearing black masks while singing the verse of a song that depicts gunmen wearing masks and riding in a stolen car before getting out and shooting at someone. The Cook County prosecutors solidified their case against Tez Slick by providing at least one witness who recognized both of Tez Slick's accomplices from the Instagram video, and after seeing T Slick with them in several videos posted on social media, the witness identified T Slick, Lee Jeff, and Jay as the shooters. Detectives were also able to compare the videos on Instagram and YouTube with surveillance footage obtained for Innovations High School that captured Jay leaving the school premises about 90 minutes before the shooting. Furthermore, surveillance cameras on the CTA helped investigators to track JMO as he rode the CTA to State and Roosevelt, where he walked to a parking lot on Canal Street and was captured getting into an Infiniti SUV. The group then drove back towards Innovations High School, where they opened fire on Lil Rob and Monti before making a quick getaway in the dark blue Infiniti SUV. Unbeknownst to the gunman, various surveillance Cameras had captured the license plates of the vehicle along their escape route. The police then used license plate readers to track the Infiniti along the Stevenson Expressway and Dewchable Lakeshore Drive, before the gunmen desperately made their way to South suburban Dothan and Cat City. The investigation later revealed that the vehicle had been stolen from the University of Chicago parking lot 4 days before the shooting, and its license plates had been replaced with plates stolen from a different parking garage in the University of Chicago. Once it was confirmed that Lil Rob and Monti had been killed, it didn't take long for Lil Jeff and Q50 to begin tooting their horns and claiming the hit on the teenagers in their songs, and in multiple Instagram live videos. In one particular video that was shared by Lil Jeff days after the murders, the rapper can be seen riding in a car alongside a friend and singing to the same song that was playing in the Infiniti SUV after the hit on Monti and Lil Rob. At some point in the video, Lil Jeff turns the volume down and reveals to his followers that the song motivated him to go slide on his ops. He said, "Look, if y'all ever going through, y'all need like y'all want to get back, y'all need tell, why look, play this song right here 100 times. I'm bet you going to get the job done right in my line, brother." But that wasn't where he ended his shocking confession. Lil Jeff continued, "I popped out listening to this right here going to give you real motivation. Hold on. If you thought that was shocking, then you probably not come across Q50 seemingly spitting on how the double homicide went down in one of his music videos, which was released shortly after the fatal shooting. Q50 can be seen wearing all black and brandishing weapons while in the company of similarly dressed men, and they all look prepared for a shootout. As the song progresses, Q50 spits blooded, called said he trying to go spin, we can spin downtown, last two got lift. Interestingly, the fatal shooting took place in downtown Chicago, and 2 people were targeted and killed during the shooting. When compared to the words in Q50's lyrics, it is easy to conclude that he was rapping about that particular incident, and it was from the perspective of someone who was there when it all went down. Despite the almost glaring admission of guilt, some of his fans have argued that it was all for clout, and that he was never really at the crime scene. Events from the last couple of days have also seemingly proven that he may not have played an active role in the fatal shooting. However, this does not mean Q50 is completely innocent. Over the years, he was known to be close friends with late rapper Lil Jeff, and both of them were notorious for bragging about killing their ops or killing for money, and word on the street is that there is a lot of truth to their brag. Q50 still a cold-blooded killer. Unlike most rappers, Q50 has managed to build a reputation on his affinity for danger and violence, more than his ability on the microphone. For even a drill rapper, that's quite a stretch, and Q50 doesn't seem the least but bothered about the course of complaints from critics who believe that his music and lifestyle focuses too much on violence and murder. In fact, in one of his most recent music videos, the rapper can be seen showing off 9 hats while covering his face with some dollar bills. Anyone familiar with the drill rap and street gang culture knows that black hats are used to symbolize body counts, specifically the number of ops or enemies a person has killed. So Q50 displaying 9 hats in his music video along with the bouquet of flowers to go with it only means one thing: he is a cold killer who wants everyone to know just how many people he has sent to the grave. A screenshot from the music video was shared by a Reddit user on the platform, and it got other users talking. One particular user wrote, "He tough, but he be chasing the out te, it's like he desire s life in prison." Another user questioned how are __ getting double-digit body counts with the technology at hand nowadays. Those numbers have to be exaggerated. A third person wrote, "Y'all have the power to ignore him and he won't be relevant. The more attention he gets, the more this will keep going. Honestly, if the fans stop entertaining this BS, it would be over." The third user sentiment is one that is shared by so many people, like, how does a person rack up double-digit body count in a time where technology dominates everything? If Q50's claims prove to be true, it only goes to show how much dedication the rapper has put into mastering the act of murder and avoiding getting caught. For all we know, he may have truly been part of the crew that took out Lil Rob and Monti, but he has again found a way to expertly take himself out of the situation. The rapper certainly talks about murder and his body count too much not to know more about it. During an October 2024 interview with DJ Vlad, British YouTuber Trap Laura Ross revealed his shock at how Q50 has still managed to stay out of jail, while bragging about how many people he has killed at every chance he gets. The most bizarre thing about Q50 boldness is the fact that he even gives his fans regular updates as his body count increases. In the interview, Ross noted, "Q50 still out here. He got arrested for a little period of time, but he got let back out, And he's just out here, navigating the streets with supposedly with 8 bodies. I don't know how he's not in jail. Is actually kind of baffling this whole situation. I think if Jeff was here he would definitely be in jail facing really serious charges. Ross goes on to describe how both Q50 and Lil Jeff have never tried to hide the fact that they are killers and constantly talk about people they have killed in their lyrics, citing a particular shooting that happened at McDonald's in Chicago, where someone's mother got shot. Ross explains how Q50 claims the hit, while rapping about the incident. Ross says further on in the interview, and he's in songs rapping about it, says mom got in the way, that's that type of stuff. Happens, we shut up the McDonald's and it got closed down. Ross also talks about how Q50 and Lil Jeff have both admitted to doing hits for money in their lyrics. To Butt's point, Ross highlights one of their songs where they talk about taking a hit in Milwaukee for some change. According to Ross, there's a bunch of lyrics where Jeff and Q50 have these little bars where they're talking about my first hit was a 2 for 1, or I'm in Milwaukee doing hits for the change. My first hit wasn't a regular hit. Once fans caught wind of the lyrics, it wasn't long before some of them dug up a shooting incident that involved 3 victims that eerily matched what the duo were rapping about. The incident stemmed from a 2022 shooting in Milwaukee involving 3 men: Anthony Thompson, Tyrese McKinn, and Clarence Harris. The 3 men were found shot and killed in a residence near 54th and Mill in March 2022, although some fans have argued that these may just be sick attempts at clout chasing by Q50. The constant reference to his body count and the fact that there are faces and names to match those bodies make it difficult to overlook. Apart from the triple homicide in Milwaukee, one of the murders that Q50 has claimed over the years was that of an OG of the 95 mob who went by the name Rodney Strong, aka a Boogie, which took place on November 10th, 2022. On that fateful day, Strong, his brother and mother were visiting their local McDonald's when a group of armed men pulled up in a car and opened fire on them. Although Boogie's mother and brother sustained multiple gunshot wounds, they managed to survive the attack. However, Boogie wasn't that lucky, as he appeared to be the main target of the attack. He later succumbed to his injuries at the Advocate Christ Medical Center. The McDonald's was later closed down in early 2023 after another shooting occurred close to the location. This was the murder mentioned by Tralura Ross during his interview with DJ Vlad in April 2023. Q50 began his rap career, and that's when he began referencing the murder of Boogie in songs like Coffin and Splash Brothers. Since that time, there have been several other murders linked to Q50 and Lil Jeff, including the killing of them 19-year-old Trap City member named Gilo Goes. Following the death of the teenager, both Q50 and Lil Jeff mercilessly dissed their dead in multiple songs, with some of their lyrics a daring admittance of being responsible for the hit ongoing. Another alleged victim of Q50 happens to be another member of Trap City, who was simply known as Glenn. Glenn was standing at gas station when someone walked up to him and shot him numerous times. In their songs, Q50 and Lil Jeff seemingly described the incident and mentioned how they caught their ops lacking at a store, and he caught several bullets. By this time, Q50 and Lil Jeff's Bloodhound Gang were in a full-on war with Trap City, and as time went on, several members from both sides would end up catching bullets. In June 2023, Q50 was shot during a confrontation with a Trap City member, but he miraculously survived. Just over a year from that time, Lil Jeff would end up getting killed by a Trap City member while he was trying to take a hit on someone. The death of Lil Jeff stunned the Chicago drill rap scene and had Q50 on the run for several months, as rivals were said to be out to take revenge on him for the blood on his hands. On the other hand, the cops were also looking to arrest him for several illegal activities that he had racked up over the years. Strangely, Q50 wasn't always that dangerous gangster desperate for blood. In fact, he graduated college and lived in a pretty decent neighborhood. So how did he find himself in the middle of a gang war and linked as a suspect in one of the most talked about double homicides in recent times in Chicago? The murder. Except Lil Jeff, we can now be confident that Q50 wasn't there that day. Still say that he's dangerous and has plenty of hats, and that it's not a bad thing that he wasn't there. BC, his music career is taking off, and otherwise he'd be in jail for life. How all this began, as it is with many drill rivalry, a scenery once undisturbed with rivals doing their thing on the ends of each block, soon became bloody. What was the cause? Well, it was always something that could have been avoided from the start. Among this trio, Vert, L. Jeff, and Q50, who started off as members of the Bloodhound and remained so. Vert was the first to fraternize with the West Side Guys, who were famously in the Jungle Hood. The Jungle Hood also had a closeness to the BKN. Soon both Vert and Lil Jeff started to hang out with guys from the BKN, and on one of those their hangouts, the BKN boys did something that remained unforgivable until Lil Jeff's death. Members of the BKN stole blinks, including glittering wristwatches and neck chains from them. On top of that, these BKN guys Lil Rob and Monti hopped on Instagram Live to show off their bounty. It included them taunting Lil Jeff by wearing the jewelry while bringing it close to the camera for all to see. Lil Rob and Monti also claimed that Lil Jeff had on a fake AP chain while flaunting 2 wristwatches and one ice out chain. Whatever the case, Lil Rob and Monti couldn't have been prepared for the consequences of their actions in retaliation to the alleged robbery by the boys. Lil Jeff saw it as a dent on his personality and hood representation that he put out a video with some explanations. The rapper shared that the items were not taken away from him forcefully, rather Lil Rob and Monti had taken it and ran off while he wasn't watching. But on January 26, 2024, the BKN guys who robbed Lil Jeff met their untimely end in the most savagely way. On that day, the pair, likely high school students, had attended the Innovations High School in downtown Chicago around noon. The boys headed out in the company of other friends, but they took an exit not too far from the Washington L train station, which was quite a busy place. And after the shooting, we all caught on a nearby surveillance camera. You can see both victims here on the left side of your screen. Here, on the right side, a dark-colored SUV pulls up underneath the train tracks. At least one person can be seen running from the car, ambushing the victims. Once they arrived at the busy area, some men in masks appeared and started shooting with two targets in mind. Monti and Lil Rob. Onlookers did little to save the boys, as they too scampered for safety. However, once these masked men drove away, people started to come around offering to help the boys. Soon Monti and Lil Rob were rushed to a nearby hospital, the Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Sadly, neither Lil Rob nor Monti survived the shooting. Both students of Innovations High School were later confirmed dead. Many media outlets covered the scene of the shooting, while they interviewed eyewitnesses, one of whom claimed to have been accidentally grazed by a bullet. Even the mayor, Brandon Johnson, condemned the killings, while sharing a heartfelt message to the family of the deceased. Although the police did not catch a suspect for the murders of Lil Rob and Monti, Lil Jeff did little to stay in the clear. If anything, he somehow gave off the energy that he was happy. In fact, not long after, Lil Jeff inked the side of his neck with 10 teardrops in street language. This meant that he had rounded up 10 dead bodies. Meanwhile, 2 of these teardrops were drawn closely, showing that those 2 murders might have been connected. Lil Jeff further self-snitches in his A Song, where he hinted that some people suffered the consequences of their actions. In the song, he added that his ops were screaming while lying on the floor. But not long after the East Side rapper soaked up his victory against his enemies, he met his untimely end. The irony is that Lil Jeff died due to fake chains too. According to streamer Trenches News, Lil Jeff died over some fake chain, which he stole from a guy and his sister on June 8, 2024, while chasing another man to his own death. After being beat up, Lil Jeff lost his own life in a viral video. Lil Jeff, who was seen wearing black hoodie and blue jeans, chases up a man in yellow, shots the rapper, then aims at his target, who scurried away into a building for safety, only to retaliate by gunning down his assailant. This all went down at the 6600 block of South Rhodes Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. A follow-up video showed Homeboy from Bloodhound avenging their own as they fired several shots. In the video, all 3 men kept on shooting in the area before they eventually backed off and returned to a car. The surveillance footage does not show who their target was, nor did it specify that anyone was hit by the shooters. But during this time, Lil Jeff was not with his crew, as he had passed away after being hit 19 times with 45 shell casing. Although he was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, he didn't survive the gunshot wound. Fans and other rappers shared their grief online by admitting that they would miss Lil Jeff. However, as for Q50, his ride and die friend, he acknowledged that Lil Jeff had died the way he wanted to via his Instagram stories. He wrote, "You went how you wanted to on my dead Jim, I love you gangsta." Surprisingly, Lil Jeff's dad told his ops that the drama was just unfolding. The grieving parent maintained that his son went down fighting against his enemies. Via a post of his social media, he quipped, "And let it be known, y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all. And what happened happened." But the saga continues. Clear the streets. Indeed, Lil Jeff was not one to take things slow or easy with his rivals during his lifetime. On top of that, he would often bravely rap about it in his songs. Before his death, the rapper updated a video of himself and Q50 driving out in a car as they rapped to a song that sounded victory over the death of an ops. Via the video, Lil Jeff maintained Trap City was the first to shoot at Q50, but then a month later, both Lil Jeff and Q50 retaliated by gunning down Trap City. He goes, "They shot my cousin." But only in December 2024, Q50 was arrested and charged based on findings of a modified firearm with a switch endemic that changes a semi-automatic weapon into an automatic firearm. Due to this crime and previous offenses, the court decided to sentence him to 1 year behind bars. But in prison, Q50 seems to have found a new faith, which is Islam. In fact, he attends prayers and seems to have repositioned his focus lenses to become a new person. Apart from his new belief, Q50 is on his way to becoming a high flyer by surpassing Lil Jeff's streaming views with his own songs. Although he appeared to be the sidekick rapper during Lil Jeff's lifetime, more fans, including those once loyal to Lil Jeff, are streaming his music, making him one of the most talked about Chicago rappers. All good things must come to an end. And with this, we are at the end of this intriguing story about Q50's final admission about Lil Rob and Monti's murder. To stay one step ahead of all trending gossip involving the most talked about celebrities, please click on the card showing on the screen.